debates with all our legal eagles, especially when they disagree. My only reminiscence of a court was when I was in the dock for not paying my poll tax, and being a very respectful housewife, having made a statement, I obviously paid. Now, I'm feeling a little bit generous to the government. Perhaps it's just the effect of recess. So I will accept that there could be instances, situations where a court might usefully add constraints to a quashing order that either delay its effect or limits its retrospective effect. However, the way in which the government's actually done this, in Clause 1, the drafting is far too prescriptive. Rather than giving courts these options as tools to deploy in the interests of justice and good government, the government is trying to force them as being the default position. Now, I'm going to, obviously my legal knowledge is zero, but I'm going to try to inject a little politics into all of this, because, of course, the reason that the government is bringing this is what the noble and learned Lord Paddock said earlier, and that is that the government is trying to stop its own mistakes. It's already difficult for people to bring judicial reviews. They had to be brought as soon as possible and within 3 months of a decision complained of. This new scheme in Clause 1 would mean that for many judicial review cases, even if a claimant wins, they lose. Now, that just does not make any sense. The government has approached the whole issue by seeing judicial review as an enemy to good governance, rather than as a fundamental part of enforcing good government. Judicial review is a fundamental part of the checks and balances of the UK's messy constitution, and the idea that public decisions which are either unlawful, irrational or procedurally unfair should be left to stand is anathema to good governance. If the government wants to lose fewer judicial reviews, then they should simply make better decisions. I know that's not easy for them. I have a lot of sympathy, but the fact is they are making a mess. If their decisions are lawful, rational and procedurally fair, then the government won't lose. Now, that seems quite obvious to me. They should not be asking Parliament and the courts to validate their unlawful decisions. To do so is to unpick the rule of law and the delicate system of checks and balances. And now the government seems absolutely determined to push the UK constitution to breaking point. Of course, the Green Party's view is that we should have a constitutional convention and produce a clear written constitution which can be understood by everyone. But until then, we will oppose the government's attempt to stop exposure of their bad decisions. I don't understand why this has been put in when it's so clearly an effort to, by an elected dictatorship, to shut people up.